What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to How Do I Want to Do This? This is our series where we take a look at all playable options available to players in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and then we rank them on a scale of 1 to 10, and then we either build them or fix them together, depending on how they rank. Now, this week we are building an Order of the Ghostslayer Blood Hunter. That is a mouthful, and it is going to be a lot of fun. I am very excited to do our first Blood Hunter build. We're only going to be looking at Blood Hunter for 4 weeks, so we won't get a whole lot of these, but if you want some bonus builds later, let me know. We are planning on doing some bonus builds in the future, and this might just have to be one of them. So let me know down in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. All of the support is greatly appreciated, and as you can see, most people who watch this channel are not subscribed, so please don't be one of those people. Help us out, help us to grow. We are trying to get to 1,000 by the end of this year, and I think we can do it, but I need your help. So again, make sure to click the bell so that you're notified when new videos are uploaded, and of course share the video with your friends. It really helps us out. So the Ghostslayer is a really cool archetype in D&D that really has not been explored, at least specifically within the confines of the normal rules. So this is really neat to give you a lot of really specific abilities that deal with that. So I think this is a really cool subclass. I think you'll have a lot of fun doing it. And so let's go ahead and jump in to see what today's build has in store. As for our race, we are going to grab Custom Lineage. I know Custom Lineage is boring, but it is what it is. I really want a feat here at level 1. I really want to take Dual Wielder here, and I'm just gonna take it. Dual Wielder is gonna allow us to hold 2 rapiers, 1 in each hand, and not have to worry about the light property. And that way, we don't have to wait. At least as far as using 2 weapons, this is gonna be really nice as far as starting out. As far as our stats go, we're going to go with a 17 Dexterity, a 15 Constitution, 13 Intelligence, 12 Wisdom, 10 Strength, and 8 Charisma. We're going to put our +2 into our Dexterity, so we are now at a 19 Dexterity, which is pretty cool. For our starting equipment, I would ask your DM to see if you can go ahead and get 2 rapiers. Technically, that's not how it's written. You only get 1, technically. But see if you can get 2, and if you can only get 1, then buy 1 as soon as you can possibly find one. They're probably not terribly difficult to find. And wear studded leather armor. We're not going to be wearing medium or heavy armor on this build, so studded leather is as good as it's going to get, and we're just gonna leave it there. So totally fine. So let's start taking some levels here. At level 1, we're going to start with Blood Hunter, and we get a couple of features here. Now, if you're confused about any of these features, make sure to check out the ranking video for the Blood Hunter class overall. That'll be up in the iCard above for you right there. And then make sure to come back here for this. So I'm going to be kind of skipping over a lot of things so the video isn't 3 hours long. But Hunter's Bane allows us to track more easily and to recall knowledge about certain types of creatures. And then our Blood Maledict gives us our Blood Curses. For this build specifically, I would definitely take the Blood Curse of Exposure. It really fits within our theme of the radiant damage and that sort of thing. Others that I like are Blood Curse of the Marked and Blood Curse of the Eyeless. All of those are really fun and are really effective. You will learn more than this, so besides that, pick your favorite, but those are ones that I like for this build specifically. Next up, at level 2, we get our fighting style, and we are of course going with 2-weapon fighting. This is going to allow us to add our dexterity modifier to the bonus action attack that we get from holding 2 weapons, which is pretty great. That's going to give us a nice little bump in damage. And then of course our Crimson Rite, it comes online here as well. So now we can make our swords all glowy and do a lot of really fun things. As far as which type to take, it's really up to you. It also depends on the campaign, so if you know that you're going to be dealing with a lot of things resistant to fire, probably don't take the fire sword. You know, just kind of go with whatever you think is appropriate for your campaign, and you should be just fine. For level 3, we're going to get the Rite of the Dawn with our subclass here. So Rite of the Dawn allows us to have a Radiant Sword, which is wonderful. And we, of course, get Curse Specialist as well, so we get 1 more use of our Blood Maledict, which is absolutely amazing as well. At Blood Hunter 4, we of course get an ASI or a feat here, and we're going to bump our dexterity and intelligence. So we're capping off our dexterity at 20, and our intelligence is going to go to a 14, which is pretty cool. At Blood Hunter 5, we get extra attack, pretty cool. At level 6 is where our character decides maybe studying the arcane will help lead us to a better knowledge of how to catch those who use it, those who may have used it in order to come back to life or in order to prevent people from being able to come back to life. So we're going to take a couple levels of wizard, which is going to be really, really cool. So here we get spellcasting and arcane recovery, of course, as all wizards do. So we get a number of spells here. Now I'm going to name several cantrips here that I like. You only get 3 of them, but one of them is pretty much necessary. You probably want to either take Booming Blade or Green Flame Blade. I recommend taking Booming Blade. It will work pretty dang well with what we're trying to do here. And it's just a reliable source of just a little bit of extra damage and a bit of a catch-22 situation for your opponent, which is really cool. Besides that, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, Prestidigitation, and Firebolt are all really cool options here. You could, of course, take something like Toll the Dead as well, if that's something that you're interested in. Whatever you think is most appropriate for your character is just fine. Our intelligence isn't great now, but we will be working on it, so don't worry about the spell save DC being super low right now. It will get better as we go, and so it'll be just fine. As far as first level spells, we're going to get quite a few of them. Remember that you can cast rituals without having them prepared, so that's one thing we're going to want to focus on, because we're not going to be able to necessarily prepare all of them. We'll be able to prepare almost all of them by the time we're level 20, but not all of them. So it's nice to have some of your ritual spells in there that you need. For me, I would definitely take Absorb Elements and Shield, at least one of those, if not both. It's definitely really, really nice for the times that they will get past your armor class. We're gonna have a pretty decent armor class on this build, I will say, so you're not gonna be getting hit all the time, but this will help to make sure that it's basically like almost never. So it's pretty cool how this build is going to work out with that, but definitely take at least one of those. Disguise Self is always a nice one. Identify is great for a ritual spell. If nobody else on your squad has that, make sure you take it. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Unseen Servant are all good. Find Familiar. You have to take Find Familiar. I mean, it's just part of it, you know. I think Find Familiar is a great one on this. Harboring Advantage is going to be fantastic, because crits really hurt when you are getting all this extra damage, all these extra die that you're rolling with your Hemocraft and all of these other fun things. So just definitely take Find Familiar to help get yourself some advantage every now and then. It's really nice. At Wizard level 2, we are choosing our subclass, and some of you might be thinking Necromancy, but nope, we're going Blade Singer. Blade Singer is a really fun take on the wizard, allowing you to mix song with magic and swords and all kinds of things. It's a lot of fun. So we're gonna get training in War and Song, which is gonna give us basically nothing. It's not great as far as what we get there. But Blade Song is everything here. Blade Song is going to give us a bunch of really cool buffs while we have this activated, including helping our AC. It's going to help our concentration checks. We shouldn't have to worry about concentration checks necessarily, unless you're taking a specific spell for that, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about that necessarily. But it also makes us walk faster. It's just a wonderful feature that will definitely come in handy, and you want to use this like all the time. It's absolutely fantastic and will definitely make us much more effective as we go along. So here at level 8, we are back to Blood Hunter, and we are sticking with it the rest of the way, because I really want the 18th level feature of this subclass. So let's dig in. At Blood Hunter 6, level 8 overall, we are taking our brand of castigation here, so now we can brand people, and it's a lot of really cool benefits from that. We also get our Blood Maledict up to 3 times per rest. I know the table says 2 times, but we get an extra ability because of the subclass, so it's now 3 per rest, which is pretty awesome. At level 7 Blood Hunter, we get our Primal Right choice as far as our second one, so you can choose whatever you didn't choose. You can get 2 of the 3, which is cool. And we get Ethereal Step here, so now we can go into the Ethereal Plane, and we now can move super quickly through the Ethereal Plane because we are blade singing, and that's a lot of fun. At Blood Hunter 8, we of course get another ASI or a feat. We're going to bump our intelligence once again and go up to a 16 at this point. At level 9, we get Grim Psychometry, which I didn't really like in the original, in the initial talk about this, but you know, whatever. At Blood Hunter 10, we get Dark Augmentation. That is exciting. It sucks that we've put this off by 2 levels, but it's still really, really fun. I really like it. At Blood Hunter 11, we get Brand of Sundering, so our branding gets boosted one more time, and we will be boosting it yet once again here in just a couple of levels, but this is our subclass specific boost to the branding element. At Blood Hunter 12, we get a +2 bonus again to intelligence. We're now at an 18. I know you're probably freaking out saying, why aren't you boosting Constitution? And it's because I don't really have room for it, honestly, and that's what sucks. I really would like to be boosting Constitution. It definitely is incredibly useful to be able to do that, but I don't have room on the build, unfortunately. At Blood Hunter 13, we get our brand of tethering here, so it's going to be much easier to track down people that we have branded. We also have our Blood Maledict at 4 times per rest, which is great. At level 14, Hardened Soul, which is neat, I guess. And then we get an Esoteric Rite, which is cool. We're probably going to keep using the Radiant one most of the time, unless you just really want one of the others. And then we get our Blood Curse of the Exorcist, which I've talked about. Incredibly situational, but could be good, I guess. It's not insanely busted, but it's not terrible either. Blood Hunter 16, we get our intelligence capped off at 20, which is exciting. I definitely would have liked to add Constitution, but this is going to help us a lot with concentration checks. If we are using Tasha's Hideous Laughter, that's basically the only one that we're going to be using. But it also is going to help our AC out a lot. Our AC is pretty incredible right now as well, and it just helps in all aspects having a high intelligence here. And at Blood Hunter 17, our Blood Maledict is up to 5 uses per rest, and then at 18, level 20 overall, we get our Right Revival. So at any point, if we get dropped to 0 HP, we can drop one of our rights on our blades and go to 1 HP instead. So this gives us 2 times being able to do that, which is absolutely wonderful. So let me know what you think of the build down below in the comments. As far as honorable mentions go, there are several. I originally started this off as a Barbarian build, to be honest. I thought that Barbarian would be really, really cool coupled along with this. So originally the build was an Elven Barbarian mix here with the Zealot subclass. So we took Zealot with Elven Accuracy. I was a high elf, which was good, and I thought that was a really, really fun build, but I didn't want to give up the Right Revival. I thought that feature was a little too good, so yeah, but I still think Zealot Barbarian matches a lot with what we're doing here as far as like the radiant damage and that sort of thing, and making sure that we get all of our boosts from Rage. If you have your Reckless attacks, then Elven Accuracy is going to proc every time, which is going to help us to crit more, and we're rolling a lot of dice, and it's definitely a really viable way to go, so definitely don't count that out. I think that's really, really cool. The other option was 2 levels of Fighter in order to get Action Surge, which could have been pretty fun. Definitely would have helped out with a bunch of damage as far as a burst round. but we really don't have a bunch of things to blow like a paladin would, or things like that, as far as like making sure we do a ton of damage. It would just be some extra attacks, so I don't think it's really worth it all that much. The other race that I wanted to take was a half orc, because then you get to stack that with the right revival, so then you could go down 3 times before being necessarily knocked down to 0. So pretty cool, but I think that it's better going with what I did. But again, these are definitely viable options. As far as feats go, tough is always going to be one that you're going to see, just because the extra HP is always going to be handy, because we're going to be dealing HP to ourselves. So we want all the HP we can possibly get. Defensive Duelist would have been really cool, just to help even more with our AC, so we can just add our proficiency bonus to make sure that we don't get hit, which is cool. Durable is one that I don't normally talk about, and it's more so important, I guess, if you can roll ones and keep those. Personally, at my table, we re-roll ones, so durable really isn't all that great at my table, but maybe at yours it is, so definitely consider it. And then Martial Adept would have given us some maneuvers, and that could have been pretty cool. Some of the maneuvers are really neat compared to others, and being able to generate things such as with trip attack, being able to generate advantage when you knock them prone, that could have been really good, and I think that's really, really fun. So that is it for today's video. Next week, we are talking about the Order of the Lycan. We are going to be able to turn into the goodest boy, doggo, all those things, and scratch people's faces up, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe out there, stay healthy, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.